Hello and welcome back. I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. Now, don't we all want to dance with somebody? All right. Well, anyways, today it is not going to be Health on Tracks. It is going to be towards Budget 2023. As you know, the budget is fast coming up on us in less than a week. As it's coming up exactly this Friday. And today, on Towards Budget 2023, we will be talking to Associate Professor Nur Adli Rizwan Shah, who's with the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat at University Science Islam Malaysia. Our topic today is towards economic recovery, and he's joining us live over the phone lines. Good morning, Professor. How are you today? Good morning, Professor. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing quite well, Professor. It's good to hear you, and you are our constant collaborator, especially in all things regarding economics.
Yeah, but it's not easy task to do.
Absolutely, Professor. We understand that, and you know what? Our questions today, even looking at them, it's quite quite wide. So let's start off with the very first question for today.
Okay.
The Unity Government's new budget for 2023 will be presented on February 24 by our Prime Minister as well as Finance Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. It is also Datuk Sri Anwar's very first national budget since he was the Finance Minister in between 1991 and 1998, which was actually a great time for the Malaysian economy. We saw a lot of growth, and at the end of 1998, unfortunately, we did see the inflation coming our way. But how would you describe Malaysia's economy right now?
Well, as we have seen in the 2020, we're facing, we call it the COVID-19, and then we have to also face the problem with the geopolitical tension, right? So between Russia and also Ukraine, and also it affected our economy in terms of the rising inflation, right? But as recently report by Bank Negara Malaysia. So basically, Malaysia economy has outperformed the expectation. Well, if you see our GDP from I call it in 2022 has risen towards almost the high GDP in the since 20 years ago, right?
Oh wow! So there's an all-time high.
All-time high, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, this is actually a very good sign or indicator for the Malaysian economy. Mm-hmm. Well, we know that the problem with the global economy is not really well at the moment, the rising inflation, right? So if you look at the data from the World Bank, for example, okay, if we calculate all the inflation rate in the other countries, it is about 8.8% on average.
Wow, that's right? A very high number.
So, now, if we compare to Malaysia, it's only about 3.3%, right? 3.3%. So it's almost 5% difference. Okay, 5% difference. Mm-hmm. But still, we face the increases in prices and all that. Mm-hmm. But overall, our economy at this moment is quite relatively strong. Mm-hmm. Okay, compared to other countries, and then also the inflation of our country is also not that too high, okay, as compared to many other countries. Example, Turkey, right, US, United Kingdom, mm-hmm. and European countries. So I can say that our recent economy is actually recovering in a very strong manner, but we do have some challenges that we have to face. So. Mm-hmm. So that's the challenge that we need to face right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, difference of inflation rates of about 5% actually, it's quite crazy, especially 5% in world economic numbers is a very, very big number right there.
Yes.
Correct, and let's talk about the world's economic growth is actually expected to slow down sharply and reach its lowest rate in almost 30 years. China's reopening of its borders has lessened the fear of a global recession at a time when advanced economies are slowing down as well because of rising interest rates meant to curb inflation, worsening financial conditions, and also add on the ongoing effects of the war in Ukraine. How would the economy, according to you, Professor, look in 2023 as well as 2024, and how would this actually affect Malaysians?
Well, the global economic, outlook for 2023 and 2024, we can say it remains uncertain, right? So because we don't know what will happen, between Russia and Ukraine. The tension is actually is growing from day
it's
to
worsening.
day, right? So basically, it's remain uncertain. So we have some challenges ahead, right? But according to the World Bank, the global economic growth is expected to grow at a very slow pace, right? A very slow pace, and it's going to slow down significantly. So basically, it's actually reaching its the slowest rate, in almost 30 years. So basically, this is what the World Bank is actually saying about the whole world, right? So advanced economies are slowing down, and then the developing economies also are slowing down, right? So this actually are impacted from the geopolitical tensions from the Russian and also Ukraine, war. Well, it actually affected the global supply chain, right, the logistic problems, and then also the rising of commodity prices and also energy prices. Right?
Absolutely, yes.
So it would be, we can say it's uncertainties are still there, right? So the impact towards Malaysian economy, because we are actually we call it an exporting and also importing country. So we trade with many countries around the world. So if they are growing a bit slow, so it might be affecting us also. Right? It might be affecting us also. So this is the challenge that we are going to face, in terms of the global scenario. So at the moment, our exports are still actually bigger than our import, so which is a good sign, right? So we have we call it the trade balance surplus, so which is good. However, we are still importing a lot of things from the other countries, especially on the commodities, food commodities. So we are importing meat, we are importing the proteins that we are having every day. So this is actually, indirectly, we are also importing the we call it inflation, from other countries. So this is the problem that might need to be tackled, by our government in terms of our curbing or mitigating inflation rising in these coming years.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure there's already strategies in play, right, Professor?
Yeah, there are strategies are being taken. So for example, strategies for short-term measures also, and we are actually, I'm looking forward to the long-term strategies. The long-term. So for example, the short-term strategies we have like the price mitigation, price ceiling, subsidies, While that measures is actually good for short-term, but to make it sustainable in terms of a longer period of time, it might not be strategically for the government. So because it's actually we have to look at our financial constraints and all that. So basically, price ceiling and so subsidies might not be
the long-term goal.
Yeah, the long-term goal is actually we need to overcome the root cause of the inflation that we bring from outside, from other countries. For example, we are importing a lot of meats. So why not we produce the meat for ourselves, and also maybe we can become the exporter to other countries.
I mean the only way the country can grow is if we sell more than we buy.
But we still need to import, right? We still need to import, right?
Certain things we can't get here, and the climate just won't allow for it.
Yes, correct.
And also, as looking back at history, right, after recession, there's always unprecedented growth. I mean, after the end of recession, there'll always be growth. So I hope that the strategies that the unity government is putting forward would also, lead into that, so that Malaysia can grow faster and even better. Now let's talk about Malaysia. Yes, Professor?
Yeah. One thing is that when we look at the barometer of the economy, we can, if we want to look at GDP, it's quite lagging in terms of the data. So normally when I look at the performance of the I call it the economy, I can actually look at the barometer of the economy by looking at the Bursa Malaysia Index, right?
Yeah.
So now Bursa Malaysia is actually hovering between 1,005 and also 1,004, right? So basically, so we need to pass the 1,500 hurdle. Okay, so if we can be above 1,500, so then it's actually a very, very positive sign for Malaysia. So I'm hoping so much that because this is like investor sentiment, right? Investor sentiment in terms of our economy. So basically, Bursa is actually one of the. I mean, I think it actually can be said as easiest way of how we will look at the economy. Right? So. If we can actually manage to overcome the 1,500, level, and then we can go up until 1,900 or above 1,900, then we should be, growing a very, very fast manner in terms of the economic growth.
Absolutely, and it's very interesting that you say that you use the Bursa Malaysia index as your barometer, because I mean that is on a daily basis. You get to see the changes instantly, so that is quite interesting right there. And of course, Professor, Malaysia's export growth has moderated fast since last September, 30.1% year on year to just 6% in December. Domestically, problems with inflation and the cost of living, higher business costs, a persistent lack of workers, and a higher interest rate will slow down domestic demand and business activity. What do you think about this? What can the government do to help people get through this?
Well, if we look at the data, we know that the inflation is rising. Our export is quite good. Export is still, we have we call it the trade surplus. We have, which means that our export is greater than our imports. Well, I think it's about 27 billion in the latest data. So even though it's actually a bit slower, but still we are still a good figure, So the most important part is we must have a trade surplus.
Of course.
And also we need to attract more foreign direct investment, FDI. The data also shows that we have we call it net inflow of FDI, the latest data, but it's still quite relatively small because we are looking at, for example, if we look at Indonesia, they are attracting more foreign investment from other countries and so on. But we need to understand that the structure of labor is different compared to Malaysia, because our labor structure is not based on the labor intensive anymore. So we are actually trying to shift from labor towards more towards capital intensive or towards technology intensive. So which is in terms of maybe the labor cost is quite not that as cheap as compared to other countries such as Indonesia, Vietnam, and so on. So it's very important for us, to have this, what I call it, sorry. There is a call in, I think. To address this challenge, the Malaysian government could take various measures. For example, we can actually boost investment, and innovation, particularly in high value added industry. So we cannot depend on the we call it the labor intensive, but we must go for the high value added industry. So this could create more jobs. More jobs, and also when you have more jobs, so we have more income, and then. And because we are having high value added, so it's actually we call it improving our productivity. So it will actually increase our export. So we will have more income in that.
Absolutely.
So one thing, yeah.
I mean, I understand. I think when Malaysia, like back in the past, they like places like Cyberjaya and all that, they were looking at capital intensive, programs, right? So that more investors come in and they invest that way rather than, as you said, labor intensive. I think that's a very, very good strategy that we need to follow again, so that, as you said, more FDIs come in our way.
And then also we look at also the policies, for example, to address the cost of living, because we know that the cost of living is very, very uh, high at the moment. So even though our inflation rate is about 3.3% in 2022 as compared to 8.8, okay,
The rest of the world. Yeah.
Okay, right. So, but still, okay, these inflationary, we call it pressures, okay, among the people, actually, especially the B40 and the M40, right? So we need to think, okay, and also to implement some strategies, okay, and how to control the price increase of essential goods, for example, and also this is actually we can actually look at also the problem of the shortage of workers. So because this is one thing, okay, we have shortage of workers whereby we have to import, okay, the labor from other countries. So this is a thing that probably we need to think how we want to attract, okay, our local, what I call it, graduates or maybe the local people to work in certain industries, which is we call it the 3Ds.
Yes.
Okay, the 3Ds: dirty, dangerous, and also what
demanding.
Dangerous. Right. So maybe the introduction of technology in doing the job, okay, probably might interest, okay, gain their interest in terms of the participation in that type of jobs. Right?
Yes, exactly. And now, moving on, Professor, in your opinion, what would be the focus of budget 2023?
Well, the main focus would be the call it recovery economy, the recovering the economy, but there will be almost similar, okay, as what we have done, okay, in the previous years. So, for example, in 2020, we have problem with the what call it the COVID-19. So there are several measures that we need to do, okay, to overcome the problem. And then as time goes on, so the economy need to recover, okay, and then there needs some reformation in terms of, for example, if we look at the dynamic of the economy, for example, we are moving towards digitalization, right? The IR 4.0 and so on. So there are a lot of things, okay, but we can actually say the first thing is actually to mitigate the economy recovery, to expedite, okay, the economic recovery, in particular in terms of supporting, okay, the recovery of most affected sectors, okay, and providing targeted assistance, okay, to affected individuals and also households. And then second, there must be a focus on improving the country infrastructure. Okay, so basically this is very, very important. Now, we don't want, for example, the rural areas, they don't have, for example, the internet connectivity and so on. So, whereby we are actually, the country is actually moving towards more modern, we call it, in terms of our connectivity and so on. So there are a lot of things that we have to look into. So in terms of the country's infrastructure, and this is actually very important in terms of transportation, in terms of telecommunication, and also energy.
Yes.
Right? And thirdly, so we can also focus on the social issues. Okay, as I mentioned before, we call it the high cost of living. So we also have to look at the income inequality, okay, between certain group of people. So we have these three groups, for example, B40, M40, and T20. You know, the income gap between the T20 and the B40 is very large. Okay, right? So how to actually reduce the income inequality, and then also to improve our healthcare system and also education, which is remain the what call it most important part, okay, in our budget. So education is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. And lastly, we also be looking at one of the focus, okay, of the budget 2023 is in terms of sustainability or green energy, something like that. And so we are looking of the usage of solar system, right, and also
renewable energy sources,
renewable energy, reduce carbon emission, and so on. So this is also very, very important in terms of our this coming, what call it, retabling of the 2023 budget.
Okay. All right, Professor. What we're going to do is we're going to be taking a very short break and with one song. And once we come back, there is more to talk about right here on Momentum. Today, we are talking about towards economic recovery with Associate Professor Noradli Rizwan Shah. And we'll be back right after this song. Professor, just stay on the line, yeah?
All right.
Alrighty. Welcome back. You're listening to Tracks. Today we are talking to Associate Professor Noradli Rizwan Shah with the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University Science Islam Malaysia. Welcome back, Doctor, and welcome back, Professor.
Hi, KG.
All right, Professor. How much do you think the budget 2023 will be, and where will the majority of the allocation go?
Okay, it's very difficult to answer.
Understand that, but what is your opinion, though?
Yeah. But basically, if we look at the, I call it the prediction. My prediction, I think it will be a bit smaller because they are looking at a smaller deficit, right? Smaller deficit compared to the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about 5% or 5% deficit. So it's still a deficit, but the idea is that when you want to table the budget, is actually you are looking at how do you want to get the income, okay? And then also, the government is actually not planning to do the GST at the moment. So the income mainly comes from we call it the petrol, we call it income, okay, from Petronas dividend, and also from the we call it tax, okay, from income tax, which is from our
workers as well as our employees, yeah.
Corporate tax and also the income tax.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also read that probably, okay, because this is also one thing which is very important to be done, which is actually reducing the tax for the M40, right? So there will be like a savings of maybe 1,000 ringgit in terms of tax payment. So that is actually even though it's actually going to the we call it saving for the for the rakyat, but it will be reducing the income for the government. So in terms of that, probably the budget, I cannot say how much, but we'll see that there will be like a smaller budget in terms of that. Because we still have a smaller budget in terms of numbers, in terms of the figures, okay, as compared to the previous one.
So, Professor, what you're trying to say, it's a smaller budget, but also there'll be focus on tax exemptions as well.
There will be a tax exemption for the M40, for the income tax bracket for the M40. Right? So it will be reducing the income. But now, my question is that how actually we can actually get the income for the government? Okay, from where? Right? So it can come from the we call it dividend from Petronas if the oil price keep on rising. Okay, now we have about $80 per barrel. So if it goes up to until $100 per barrel, then probably the government will have higher income. But still the rakyat will have also to face the increase in the petrol price. So because whenever the increase in price of the petrol, so our car petrol also will increase because we are actually using the floating, we call it
from
mechanism
from OPEC or something, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing. So it might be a bit smaller because they are also looking at what call it a smaller deficit. So there will be a lot of what call it challenge, in terms of which sector, or which ministry will have more. But for sure, education will have the highest, almost one of the highest budget, in terms of our yearly budget.
Yes, absolutely. Education, always the important thing to consider. Now, Professor, I believe that you have touched upon some of the strategies to consider when planning this budget, but could you just do a small recap on what you think is the most important strategy to consider when planning the budget?
Well, one thing that we have to look at our three elements in terms of our economy. So the three elements that I'm trying to explain right now is actually we have our necessities, we have our wants, we have our we call it things that which is luxurious. Okay?
Yeah, the wishes.
So basically, whenever the government want to do the budget, they need to fulfill the needs first. Okay, so that is the most important thing. Okay, so make sure that all the needs of the rakyat has been fulfilled. Then only you can go for the wants and also for the embellishment. Okay, for the luxurious thing. So that is the important things in when you are planning your budget. Okay, and not only for the government but also for ourselves. Okay. So when we do our own budget, also we need to make sure that our needs and necessities, need to be fulfilled first. Then only we can go to the next level for our wants. Then only we can go for the luxurious or embellishment. Right. So that's how we should do our budget. So it's not different, not that we call it quite different as compared to our individual and also to the government also. Right. So, but here, one thing that I would like to stress is in terms of the food security. So, food security is actually really a need for the people. So we need to have that food security. For example, like if we look at the problems that we have discussed in the earlier part of this session. Right, we talk about the Ukraine and also Russian conflict, war, which affecting our food prices. Okay, inflation of our country has increased by 3.3%, and that is actually indirectly being affected by the imported inflation from the other countries because they are having problems with the external shocks. So, but we also facing the consequences. So from importing food commodities, we are a very net importer of food commodities. So we need to solve these problems, as mentioned before. So probably, we need to have a lot of incentive or what call it policies, to improve our food security of Malaysia for the rakyat also. So whereby we can actually have a more affordable price, okay, for food, right? For your chicken, for your eggs, for your meat, okay, for your all the things, okay. Probably there are a lot of policies and also maybe grants or subsidies towards the food security, programs.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Professor, we are running out of time quite quickly.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
but maybe we can breeze through the rest of the questions as well. It was said that the ways the subsidies are given out, the way they will be targeted after this, is it a good idea to think about it right now alongside the budget?
Well, I think it's the right time for us to look into how we actually distribute the subsidies. So basically, at the moment, we are actually providing a lot of subsidies.
Blanket subsidies, yes.
Yeah, a lot, right? So probably there will be a good time for us to look into whether we want to go for a very targeted, recipients of the subsidies, okay. So because subsidies is actually a cost, okay, towards the government. So that is a major cost. I think about 77 billion, okay, of subsidies will be provided for 2023. So 77 billion is quite a lot, okay. So there should be like some ways of how, because if you look at World Bank, okay, World Bank, IMF, they say that we don't want, they advise, okay, the developing countries and to abolish the subsidies. Okay? But this is not happening in Malaysia because we are actually we cannot follow everything what the Western countries say, okay? Because we have our own
policies.
System, right? Policies. So we need to use whatever policy that is suitable for the country. So we still need to have the subsidies because we need to have the hello.
Yes, Professor, right here.
Okay, sorry. We still need to have the subsidy because we need to assist the rakyat. Okay, but still we have to reconsider on certain ways of how we should be doing it.
Okay, Professor, next question. With all the things the government is doing to help the people, like Menu Rahmah, Package Perpaduan Jalur Lebar Tetap, which is the fixed internet broadband, what other things can be done and what some other ways to help people? Maybe we can just breeze through this one as well.
Okay, maybe I can give you just three things. Okay, maybe first is actually to increase the skills of the rakyat. Okay, increase the skill of the rakyat so that they can actually increase their income. Okay,
of course.
So okay, that maybe there are a lot of things, okay, that the government can provide. For example, training for them to do digital
marketing,
business, marketing, or whatever. Right. So this is the thing that might actually can actually increase their income. Okay, they can become affiliate or whatever. Right. So one thing. The second is actually to provide the tax incentive for the M40. So that is we have discussed before. So the saving from their the tax, okay, can actually be used for investment, right? So to actually increase
recirculate within the economy itself.
Yeah. All right. So and one more thing is that is by relooking into the prices, okay, the prices of food, okay, so which I've mentioned also before,
ceiling,
actually to look at the program, okay,
the program.
The program for food security. Right? So this is very, very important.
Okay, and the next one, is it still important to give small and medium-sized businesses such as, which are also known as SMEs, loans to help them automate and go digital? If so, what could be done to make this work better?
Yes, it's very, very, we still need to have that because they are actually the engine, the growth, engine growth of the Malaysian economy. So the SMEs. So probably there will be, in terms of, the SMEs, if they want to go for digitalization, they might be facing a lot of challenges, right?
Yeah.
Challenges in terms of getting the financing, in terms of getting the knowledge. Okay, so probably financing. One thing is financing. In case they want to go to for digitalization, they need cost. So and also the infrastructure, as well, for example, the software and also the hardware. So probably they can have that in terms of finance that, okay, from the banks, okay, and the banks actually will be willing to give financing towards the SMEs. Secondly, in terms of training, okay, maybe they don't know how to actually to go for digital, so they need to have this training aspect, okay, in terms of what we call it, how to go to
A
for
digital
digitalization.
marketplace.
Right. And also maybe there are a lot of things also they can actually look at at the idea of grants, okay, in terms of digitalization, right? And also in terms of what you call it, giving them, for example, access, okay, to a lot of we call it
Government-run programs.
it's actually like that. So, for example, we can say that financial incentive.
Oh, financial incentives. Okay.
So,
right.
for example, tax break. So, if they do this digital program, so they are given the tax break, okay, for whatever they have paid, okay, for the digitalization program. So,
Okay.
so sorry, I'm trying to get that in my mind. It was away.
No worries, Professor. I
Alright.
absolutely understand that. Okay, Okay, Professor, we are at the end of our interview for today. I can tell you, talking to you, we barely have enough time because there is so much that you can share with us. But in a couple of words, what do you want to see in the budget for the year 2023?
Okay, for the budget 2023, I believe that it's going to be for the rakyat. Okay, how to reduce to what call it, to help the rakyat in terms of the social issues and the socio-economic, and secondly for economic transformation, right? And thirdly to provide assistance, okay, and also call it
Subsidies?
Not subsidies, assistance towards the SMEs just now.
Oh,
okay,
the SMEs, yes.
Okay? And also for the what you call it, the fourth fund is actually for the green, okay, renewable energy. So that will be the four things that I would like to see in the budget 2023. Right?
Lovely, Professor. And before we end for today, is there anything else that you would like to add for our listeners?
Since the government are doing the budget, I also encourage, okay, we ourselves to do at least once a year our own budget. So for our family budget also.
Yes.
So that's it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. We have to start budgeting from the very grassroots so that we understand exactly where our money goes, how it goes, and why it goes, right? All right. Thank you so much, Professor. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. We hope to have you in the studio next time so that we can, talk more, have a much more engaging conversation. And thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day, sir.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye, KG.
Bye-bye, Professor. Have a good day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about going towards economic recovery today with our very esteemed guest, Associate Professor Nur Adli Ridwan Shah, who is with the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University of Science Islam Malaysia. And this series of talks and interviews will be going on all the way till Friday on the 24th of February, where the budget 2023 will be tabled once again, and do look out for more coming away 11:15 till 11:45 till the 25th of February. And after that, it will be the post-budget analysis as well. Right now, though, it is back to the music on your favorite station. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be back in the next hour right here with more great tunes.